Cool, are we ready? Let's go. Okay, so welcome to Coffee with Cass, and today we're going to tell you about $1 billion industry which nobody's talking about. Now, this is an industry where I've actually had so much involvement over the last 12 years. It's been my career for quite some time, and it's the industry of digital learning, but for businesses. Now, you might have heard a lot of people talk about sell a course to the consumers, to the customers, and you can make quite a lot of money by that, which is true, you can do, but what people aren't really talking about is how you can use that same concept of learning and building digital courses, what the industry kind of calls as e-learning, as assets to sell to businesses. Now, let me talk to you about this a little bit more in depth, because this is something that I have had, like I said before, a lot of experience with over the years, and I've been working within the industry to sell these actual courses. So there's different variations of how you can make money from this. You can actually look into doing this yourself as a business, or alternatively, it pays pretty well because it is a bit of a niche role where you can actually get very good kind of roles in full-time employment or potentially contracting, and I'll kind of break that down now. So an e-learning is basically technically learning on a computer. Nothing new. It's basically been around for quite some time, and it's very traditional and not very difficult to build. So all it is basically text on a page and then pressing next, and it'll bring some more text, and you might have some interactions on there, such as drag and drops, but there are software that basically helps you build these. And what it does is that basically produces a file which then you put onto a learning management system, which the business should already have in place. And then you find a subject that you want to talk about. So there's different variations of why people would do e-learning. Number one is probably because of a compliance need. Compliance is a need by a business. They have a regulatory reason to actually create a course on something such as anti-money laundering. Now, anti-money laundering is basically where people launder money, so they might have to be aware of that, as all the staff within the business might need to be aware of that because of auditing risks. Now, what will happen is you can actually develop this pretty easily by taking around about 90% of the information that's already on the internet and just reword it. And you basically put it into a software, and there's different variations of software. There's one called Storyline by Articulate. There's Articulate Rise as well, which is actually really easy. Now, if you know how to use PowerPoint, you can apply the same concept onto the e-learning software because it's relatively the same thing. It just has a couple more layers which you can find out over YouTube on how to use, and it's relatively easy enough. Now, there are different levels of e-learning development, but on a basic level, anybody who knows how to use PowerPoint should be able to kind of create these. The other part of it is just obviously learning the actual subject itself, but you don't need to be the expert. The internet has half of the information, and if it is something where you are partnering with a business, you can actually get somebody internally from the business to give you the information, and then all you need to do is take that information, probably reword it in certain parts because you want to make it easy for the learner to actually understand. But these e-learning courses could be sold to a business for anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000 per course, and that is crazy because if you keep building these courses for that customer and the person has a suite of 5 courses, you're making really good money from it. And this isn't an easy thing for you to do, just to be able to approach a business and say, I just want to build you some e-learnings. It's definitely not, but it's very much a lucrative business idea that nobody's talking about as in depth as probably what I'm going to be talking about this. So I'm going to give you a really short snippet into this, and it'll be really good in the comments if you basically just tell me you want to learn more about it, because ultimately I can go on about the subject matter for all day, and I just want to keep this very, very high level. Also with making e-learning, okay, so there's other things that you might want to consider. So the e-learnings that look good are the ones that have really good graphics on there, a bit of animation or video on there. Now there's other tools you can use which basically help you build these animations. Another website, for example, is one called Beyond, where you basically can get characters kind of in a business setting and you can just voice over them. There's AI tools now that basically look like presenters, so you don't actually need to be on screen. You can just get the AI, you can basically type in a script and the AI will basically say it out loud and it'll look like a person's basically presenting to you like I am now. And there's different variations of why it's pretty straightforward to build an e-learning. And you can learn all this from like YouTube. I did pretty much half of my career by learning off YouTube first, applying that, basically then understanding the software as much as I can, and start building the e-learning. Now, as I was saying before, as a contract, you can pretty much, if you don't want to do this where you have to actually sell the business and you set up a business and you approach the businesses, you can contract. And a contractor in this industry can make anywhere between around about £250 a day. That probably works out about $280, to anywhere to £500 a day, which is about, I don't know, $550 on average. But you can see there's massive marks where you can actually earn by just contracting as well. And then you can obviously go into full-time employment where you actually get a salary, and that can range anywhere between, I don't know, $30,000 to $100,000, depending on the level that you get to within the industry. Because the more senior you get within the position, you'll probably end up doing less of the work and managing the teams. So there's lots of lucrative ways of how you can actually make money. And because there's not that many people that know about this industry, and it's very much a specialist area, you can actually charge more because of the services. And with e-learning, going back to as a business model, there's research out there because of COVID, it's actually accelerated the need of digital learning online. Before, obviously, people used to do it face-to-face and people used to teach in traditional ways, but e-learning is taking over because it is a lot faster. And once it's built, you can actually get that course and you can give it out as many times as you want, unless there's obviously a change that needs to be made, but then you could charge for the changes to be made to the course later on down the line as well. And once you actually have a customer and the customer is normally happy with this e-learning you've built, they will probably come back to you. And it's the same as if you contract or if you work full time as well. Definitely something that you want to look into as a kind of niche idea. And if anybody else has got any niche ideas of kind of roles that are very unique and make a lot of money, as I said before, just put in your comments. And if you do want to learn more about e-learning and learn about how you can potentially build the courses or how you can sell it to a business or the best route to get into the industry, just drop down a comment and I'll do a full video around that. But obviously I just want to give you a high level overview of the e-learning industry. It's turning into a billions of dollar industry because of the need of the businesses needing it. And the traditional learning methods have actually gone down, and digital learning is becoming a lot more to the forefront. So if you like this content and you want to learn some more, subscribe, share, and like, and I appreciate it. And I'll speak to you soon.